Well, welcome back everybody. It's the 5th of January, I guess. And yesterday, this box doesn't have much in it. It had a muffler in it, so they put a pretty big box in. But what I wanted to show you, that's the screen for the hydraulic system. I got the rebuild kit along with the boots for the touch control. And I've also got some front end steering pads. I got a new rear main seal. This is a little different than the one that's in it. It's thinner material. The other one there, it didn't want to set down where it belonged, and I think it's leaking. Haven't really run it enough, but the back of the pan always looks wet, so I'm going to change out with a good one. It only takes a little bit of time. Got to pull the motor, of course, that's the worst part, but you know, it's 6 bolts and a couple of linkages, and no big deal. So anyway, we've got this here all done. Got that all done. I still got one of those I'm glass beading. I got to get paint on to go on the other side. And I got a new throttle quadrant, whatever you want to call it. And I got all the old screws out of the touch control stops. So that's what they call them, is touch control stops. Anyway, I've been picking away, but the last 2-3 days, me and Carol have just been kind of just enjoying stuff and just relaxing. We did a little shopping, different things, because we didn't buy each other stuff for Christmas and all that. So, you know, we did a few things there. But anyway, today we're going to take that touch control off of there. And that's quite a chunk of iron. We'll drain the oil back out of it. I got non-detergent oil in it. And once I get that all out, get everything clean, I will put the regular engine oil, which will be a high detergent oil. But this right here is, yeah, non-detergent, and it really should have a non-detergent in it, because, and I may put non-detergent back in it. I might actually put the TransGuard from the John Deere in it. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to take this off. I'll bring you back when I get this on the bench. Well, I was picking up my mess here. Got a brand new throttle quadrant there for that. And I don't know if you can see that rounded over mess there. See how this one's nice and crisp? Hopefully you can see that. I don't know. But it's crisp. It was machined with a nice bevel. This one here, it actually has a negative slope to it, so that it's not tipped the right way where they ground it. Anyway, it's, I can't badmouth it much. It does not say in the book, I went up and looked specifically, this is a Steiner replacement. It does not say exact, replacement. It just says replacement throttle, quadrant. So where they're not advertising it as a direct replacement or exact copy, it's not. I'm pretty disappointed in it, for $65, $70. I'm actually going to use my old one. I'm that disgusted with it. I don't like the looks of it. Even these notches here on the new one are not as deep. They're not as square on the back side. The whole profile is a little different. Profile is different up here. It's just, I don't think it's as good a quality. And there's only 6 teeth on this that's wore out. I'll fix those 6 teeth, weld up this groove on the back, slap some paint to it, be good as new. I've already wire wheeled on this, so I can't return it. So that was 70 bucks thrown away. But anyway, this one here, these angles here are kind of back more this way, and they're not as deep. Up here, of course, this is supposed to still be fat up here, like here, and they've got it thinned down. I don't know why, but anyway, yeah. There's another problem it's got too. The edges of this here aren't tall enough to miss the bolt head. so it rubs on the bolt head when it goes by. Just little shit like that. But anyway, I'm gonna stop bitching about that. I can take care of that some other time. I'm gonna go back to draining oil. That right there got the best of me here a minute ago. I took the nut off, and as you can see from the mess on the floor, it blew about 1.5 quarts, 2 quarts right out across there, all down my leg. Just a mess. So I've been 5 minutes here cleaning stuff up, and I still got to scrape up a bunch of this. But anyway, yeah, we're getting closer. I actually don't know where these vent, you know, for temperature change. I don't see anything on the top. Maybe they're supposed to vent around that plug. That plug doesn't have a gasket on it. I'm gonna have to do some research on that because I'm kind of puzzled as to where the vent is. I would think it would vent somewhere because, you know, you take, over time, you get it really working, get it hot, there'd be a lot of pressure in there. So, anyway, one more little mystery of life. I'll bring you back here. Look at that, I got oil all up here. That thing blew oil everywhere. Kind of surprised me. I weren't expecting that. I should have loosened up this vent on the top here, and that would have blown the air out of it. It had a lot of pressure, just like as if you'd put an air gun in there. So, and I don't know where it got the pressure from either, because I poured the oil in. You know, I didn't force nothing, so I don't know. One of them mysteries. Yeah, I figured I'd show you a little update here. I got the outer arms off. This one here, I'm not sure if it's made on the shaft, pressed on, I'm not sure, but it doesn't readily come off. The other side, I just unbolted the back bolt. There's only 4 bolts holds this on, but on this one, looks to me like there was only 3 bolts holding it on, because I went to take that one out. You can see I haven't even had a wrench on the head. It wasn't even screwed in, it was just sitting there. Kind of interesting. But anyway, I got 2 more to take out. And I don't know what this thing weighs, but it looks like it ought to be manageable. We'll see. I'll bring you back when I go to take it off. Well, we'll see if we can get this thing off here without making too much of a mess. I don't know why I'm worried a lot of oil coming out onto me at this stage of the game, but anyway. We'll see if I can handle this thing. Where's the place to get a hold of it? That's the main thing. Yeah, it's all slimy. I don't think it's that heavy, it's just when it's dirty and slippery, that's what the problem is. Not that bad, probably 100 pounds. Something like that. So now, we'll whistle these right here off and we'll start disassembling. I've never had one of these apart. So this will be kind of fun for everybody. I might actually turn it on this end so we can see what's in there. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Aha, I see how that works now. Interesting, I'll be back. Yeah, I guess I'll leave you running while you get back. So we'll get you off the camera and show you this real simple. Get this over here. Now these are the leather bellows, and I've got modern ones. We'll see which ones I use. You know, I like the leather stuff actually. I think we may just do the seals in behind, and if they're in good shape, which they feel good. But what this does is when you move this spool, of course if you move it, let's say that way, it's going to move this rock shaft up, and as it does, it'll move it until this comes back to a neutral point and shuts itself off. So you basically got a counteracting arm. You pull this one up, as that one travels, it offsets this one. And yeah, it's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot of stroke on these, you know, on the bottom. It just travels in between like that. And yeah, real simple. I always wondered what the hell that was for a linkage in that. Like I say, I've never had this off, but somebody obviously has had it off. I'd say probably before my father got it, because I don't ever remember us taking this apart. I do remember putting oil in it. I think we just put motor oil in it. Might have put hydraulic oil in it, I'm not sure. But we put oil in it when I was a kid, like once every year or two. And that was the only thing we ever did to it. So that bolt being out probably was something when my great-grandfather had it. He must have, at some point, had it worked on either at the dealership or he worked on it. Either way, it didn't get put back together right. Anyway, we'll take this apart, see what we got in there. So this is kind of a stacked assembly. These ears here will pry off. These ones here. And you just let it set back here. It's kind of a pain. I got the cotter pins out so that those are where they belong, out of the way. These here have a cotter pin out on the end, but to be able to rotate this pin, you have to loosen up that set screw right there. Once you do that, this pin will come out. And it's a special pin, as you can see. That right there is what locks on the set screw. So, once you do that, I don't know if this will come out or if it just wants to set here until you get the rest of the stuff out. But it's got a cotter pin there so you can take it apart and get it out of your way if you want. And then the spool should come out if there's nothing on the other end of it. The old leather, I guess it is about gone on this thing. Guess it will have to be replaced with the modern rubbers. But anyway, I'm going to go back, get this one off. Oh, and I did take off this stop. This stop just is bolted in the back. This little bar's got the threads in it. Looks like, I don't know if that's a 1/4 inch Allen wrench or what it is, but it's pretty close to 1/4. Anyway, we'll keep on working. When it goes back together, it'll make more sense. Well, now comes the big mess. Yeah, definitely. Glad I'm cleaning this out. There's all the hydraulic banks. I'll bring you back in just a second. I'll show that to you. I guess I'm going to scrape that in the trash before I put it in the parts washer. No sense to contaminate that much stuff. So anyway, there's all your valve bank. And, you know, these here will pick right up and down. I would say there's probably an O-ring or something holding it. Oh, there she goes. She's coming. Just needs to be pulled. And I'm assuming they're identical, right and left. This one here is still frigged up with the dust shield on it. There's just enough spooge in this thing. There we go. Yeah, we can actually pull them out, and we'll see there if they're identical. I'm pretty sure they are. Yeah, same for the right and the left. But we are going to keep them separate. Keep them out the same way they came in. Because I would imagine by the time this was being made in the this is 52, stuff should be pretty much standardized. You could swap one spool for the other, but you know, they may have lapped them. I don't know. I'm going to just give it the benefit of the doubt and keep them going back together the same way they come apart. So I still don't know what's in here. I got to take these boots off and I'll bring you back in a minute. So I just popped the top off. Obviously there's a big heavy spring under here that the hydraulics works against. So I got to be careful when I take that off. But tomorrow, before I take this, I'm not going to take it apart tonight. This is going to be the end of this video. But I am going to take all of these little pressure reliefs and different valves. I'm going to clean a spot here in the shop, put a piece of plywood down, I'm going to keep track of all this stuff. I'd say that might be the pressure relief. Yep. That's your main pressure relief. So, you know, I'm just going to keep track of everything. The center of this moves. I don't know about the outside. They're at different levels. Yeah, they both push in, so that means they'll come out probably. Anyway, it'll be a half-hour job to get all this stuff apart. And anyway, that'll be video number 2 on this thing. And the only thing I can tell you right now, it's just a pain in the butt. So anyway, they're messy. As you see, make sure you bleed the pressure off up in the top tank. When I actually had to wedge a chisel in here. I could not get this with a screwdriver, and I couldn't get it. That old asbestos gasket on there, man, it was tight. And I'm thinking by looking at it, I got to see what thickness gasket I got. This looks to me like it is a very thin gasket, like 15, 20 thousandths. I don't know, there's a piece over here I can measure, I guess. Yeah, I can measure that piece there in the morning. Hopefully I got the right gaskets. Anyway, hope this might help somebody someday. It's nothing but a pain, but I do think that if you've got a tractor that's as old as this one and it's never been apart, by the looks of all the crud in here, it's probably a good thing to do on a cold winter's day. Anyway, hope everyone enjoyed. Keep safe. Don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow or the next day. Talk to you later.